I have a very exciting video for you today. If you're here, you probably like working out. I like working out as well. So, pull up a chair. Because when I'm not working out, I'm either eating, sleeping, hanging out with the family, or in my free time, I like to be a student. I like to study other lifters, right? Because I want to know what works. And I think it's very important in your lifting journey to take a look at what's worked for other people. And, as you kind of go through the years of lifting, I've been lifting for about 15 years now, it's good to take bits and pieces of what other people are doing and add them to your own personal toolkit, or, try them out. Maybe you don't like that, you get rid of that. And then over time, you can become more effective. So in today's video, we are going to look at how to train like Sam Sulek. Sam was very transformational for me. I really like Sam Sulek's style. I mean, a lot of people like Sam Sulek, right? He's just seems like a chill guy. And, I like that he's not too crazy in your face or anything. Very chill videos. You can just kind of relax, hang out, and watch his videos. And watching a lot of Sam Sulek's videos, that was when it really clicked for me, like how hard I needed to be pushing my sets. That was the biggest takeaway from watching him was I realized I was not pushing nearly hard enough to actually make a physical change in my body and get force my muscles to grow. So I thought it was really great, learning that. So today we are going to go through how to train like Sam Sulek, right? Because we want to look like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Sam's training split. We're going to talk about how he structures his workouts. And we're going to look at a couple example, what a few example of his workouts would be and his overall training philosophy. And at the end, we're actually going to watch some footage of him training. So in this video, we're going to get his whole split, how to make a workout like Sam Sulek. Without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. The Sam Sulek training split. So he does a 4-day rotation that goes chest, back, arms, and then legs. Typically on chest is also when he'll do some shoulder type exercises. And you'll notice there's not a rest day in there. And he sometimes will take a rest day. And again, I just kind of want to preface all this. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the right or the wrong way. What I'm saying is this is how he does it. So you want to learn to do it like somebody else? That's what we're here for. So this is actually what I'm doing as well, is like a 4-day split with no rest day. It's working for him. It's working for me. Thing is, I really, really like going to the gym. Like it's like one of the best parts of my day. So I don't want to take a rest day. I don't. So is it too much? Maybe. But I like training, so I'm going to keep doing it. So he's got a 4-day rotation. Every so often, if necessary, he will take a rest day, but it's not scheduled in. So you do chest, back, arms, legs, and then when you get to the next day, back to chest, and you keep rotating. So it doesn't typically line up with the 7-day week. So you're always changing up what you do on each specific day. So a typical Sam Sulek workout looks kind of like this. So there's usually 3 main lifts, and then maybe some accessory work at the end, maybe like a burnout set or something like that. There's typically going to be 2 to 3 working sets per exercise, 8 to 12-ish reps on your bigger compound lifts, and then 12-ish to 16 reps on your isolation movements. And again, sometimes accessories at the end. Differing from bulking to cutting, typically he'll back off the the volume just a tad, maybe slightly less working sets. And then he'll also do, he won't go so low into the reps to avoid injuries and just kind of stay on the safer side with higher reps. Okay, so looking at a typical chest workout, it's going to look kind of like this. So usually starts out with some kind of incline press. So there's going to be like an incline Smith, incline barbell, or an incline machine, like a hammer strength. And there's going to be about 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Then maybe he'll do another main incline workout, incline movement, maybe 3-ish sets. And then he'll jump over to do some cable flies and then maybe a fly. So this was like one example of one of his workouts. So they're not all like this, but this is just a general example. You kind of use this as a template. The next exercise we have is the back. He did chest supported row for 2 sets. We did 8 to 12 reps of that. And then lat pull downs, 3 sets, lat pull overs, close grip pull downs, and then incline bench cable row. So it's kind of like that move that he likes to. You bring a incline bench up to a cable, and you're kind of doing like pulling the cable towards you. One thing you'll notice about this is that he's hitting the back from all different angles. So we have a chest supported row trying to hit the upper back. We have lat pull downs going for the lat. So there's a mix of everything. I think this is something that I need to work on with my back days, is really focusing on targeting my weak points, which are my traps. My traps suck. My traps are terrible. So total working volume on that was about 10 working sets. So a typical arm workout, we're going to do triceps and biceps in the same day. Sometimes he'll do all of his tricep work and then all of his bicep work. And sometimes he will alternate one tricep exercise, one bicep exercise, back and forth. So this specific exercise we looked at was a tricep cable cross extension. Kind of doing a like that. And then easy bar cable push down. So just your typical cable press downs with the easy bar. Dip machines for 1 set. And then we moved over to biceps, seated palms up, bicep pull down, doing the old Tom Platt style. And then close grip easy bar curls, and then alternating bicep curls, the classic with the dumbbell. And we had 12 working sets on that one. And then the last exercise we're looking at is a leg workout. So a lot of times he'll start out doing leg curls and leg extensions before moving into a main lift. And this is something that I've tried as well, and I didn't try it in the beginning because I was worried that going hard on leg extensions and leg curls would make it so that I wouldn't be able to really do any weight on squats. But to be honest, I didn't notice a huge dip in my squat performance when I did my leg curls and extensions before squatting. So because of that, I tried it out and I ended up liking it. And so it's something that I think you should give it a try, see if it works for you. I think that doing that, warming up the quads like that, helped a lot with engagement and feeling like I was really working the quads more. So on this particular day, we did leg curls and then leg extensions and then a main press movement, 4 sets of either a seated pendulum leg press machine or elevated heels. He likes to do a lot of the elevated heels barbell back squat. Just put like a plate on the floor, put your heels up on that. I like doing that as well. I feel like I can get my quads targeted a little more, and it takes a lot of lower back out of it, and it takes a lot of glutes out of it as well. Kind of following the same pattern as the rest of the workouts, we had about 10 working sets for that exercise as well. So into the Sam Sulek training philosophy. kind of his main things are lifting heavy, right? We want to have a high intensity level so that we're forcing muscle growth. He typically likes to stay around the 8 to 12 rep range. And that is his strength building rule. So we're going to actually jump to a video real quick, and I'm going to let him explain exactly what he's talking about with the Sam Sulek strength building rule.
Up the most in an off season, which
we're going to go and jump here.
It looks like it's scheduled to for this one. I mean, I'll gradually increase the weight. My rule, I guess you could say the Sulek strength building rule, 8 reps minimum, but bring it, right? So what I'm saying is if I got 8 with this much weight today, I'm fresh, I'm strong, I'm ready. If I only got 8, then I'm not going to go heavier than this next week or next leg day, right? Assuming I still feel good. Now, if I get like 10, maybe I'll do the same weight. Maybe I'll up it by, 20 pounds, so 10 on each side. But if I did like 11 reps today or 12, that's my cue. I got it. Right? Throw a 10 the next time. Maybe throw a 15 on the side the next time. A 50-pound jump in a week or in a few days, it's a bit much. But my logic is, at least how it's worked so far, is if you can do 8, do it again so you can do like 11 or 12. And then up the weight. If it's like one of your, crazy or heavy sets, I would be, not only would I be freaked out, I just wouldn't do a weight if I only thought I could get 4 reps or 5 reps. That's, in a bodybuilding sense, because I'm not used to that kind of training, I'd call that the danger zone.
So that pretty much sums it all up right there. So I hope you were able to, hope that made sense for you. It's just essentially trying to keep it in that 8 to 12 rep range and having some sort of methodology for how you actually do that. Also back to his philosophy, he typically will go to failure on just about every set. And there's so many things to say about this, right? We could stay on this one singular subject of going to failure for a really long time. I think for a lot of exercises, let's say you do something for 12 reps and you go to what you believe is failure. And then like if somebody pulls out a gun and points it at your head and is like, you need to do one more rep. Like I feel like a lot of times you might be able to do one more rep. If you truly can't do another one, then, good on you. I will say it takes some time to be able to build up to actually have the ability to kind of push to failure. And the thing is, what I've seen is that everybody's failure is a little different, right? You can kind of tell in their face. You have to really build up the central nervous system ability to really push with a high level of intensity. It's not something that everybody can just do right off the rip. You really have to train to be able to do that. And I do think that going to very, very close to failure or getting there is what it takes. That's pretty much what I do as well. I think there's a lot of soy propaganda, science-based soy propaganda saying, don't go to failure. You might get a boo-boo. You might get hurt. Okay. Soy detected, opinion rejected. You can go to failure. It's fine. A lot of guys, they're talking about overtraining when they need to worry about even training. Okay. The reason that a lot of people, and I'm talking to me, I'm talking to past me. If you are super, super sore after you do a few sets of squats, and you're kind of newer to the gym, if you're sore for 7 days, it's probably because your recovery sucks. Okay, it's probably because you need to work on your recovery. Your recovery's bad. How many times did you stay up till 1? How many times did you stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning? Did you eat a huge meal directly after that set of squats and then again every 4 hours for the next 3 days? And did you get your 8 hours of sleep? And did you make sure you were properly hydrated and have all of your, your electrolytes and everything? If the answer is yes, that you did all of those things and you tracked your calories and you were eating, the correct amount of food and you're eating the correct amount of carbohydrates and fat and protein and everything. If you did all that, you're not going to be sore for 7 days. I don't believe it. It's not going to happen. So, like I said, I'm saying this because this was me. This was past me. Do a set, do a leg day. Could barely walk the next day. Well, thinking back, it's probably because I stayed up till 2 a.m. that night and my body did not have a chance to recover. So this is a recovery game, boys. Okay, you got to get good with the recovery. Back to it. Talked about this a little bit earlier. During cutting phases, usually stays away from going too low in reps, just to reduce the chance of injury. I'm 35, so I'm getting old. I'm kind of getting up there in age, and there's a lot of exercises that I don't like to go too heavy on because it just hurts my tendons, and I'm gonna hurt myself. So I like to stick, in the 10 to 16 range for a lot of exercises too. A big thing that Sam focuses on is the mind-muscle connection, really focusing on a powerful peak contraction, which is the squeeze, right? And getting a pump. So this is a common thing that you'll find with a lot of bodybuilders in the space. If you're kind of new to studying individual bodybuilders, this is a common theme. So that's it for the PowerPoint. And now we're going to go and we are going to watch some of his training so that you can kind of get an idea of we're looking at a few things here. We want to look at the tempo. How are these exercises performed? How does Sam, what's his range of motion look like? That's what I want you to look at. We want to look at range of motion. We want to look at tempo, exercise selection. How hard is he actually pushing his sets? So those are the things we're going to look at. Let's get into it. So we're going to watch some clips from his chest day first.
It's heavy, but not so heavy that I think, I'm going to get to rep number 5 and have that be failure. That'd be a little low, I think the 8 to 12 repetition mantra holds up pretty strongly. So as long...
The science-based guys will say, that's too many reps. You only need 4 reps. All you need is 4 or 6 reps. Get out of here.
As long as you're doing a set.
Thing is, I'm going to go on a rant. How can you... The science-based crowd has gone too far, okay? How can you sit there and say, you got a bunch of people that are not professionals, not professional bodybuilders, and they're saying, all you need is 4 to 6 reps to build muscle. And then you got there's so many professional bodybuilders that all individually say the 8 to 12 thing is where it's at. So because you looked at some random study where there was a microscopic amount of muscular difference in these people who trained 4 to 6 reps versus 12 reps, and there was 100 other variables that were not able to be controlled, like amount of sleep and actually how hard someone pushed their sets and their nutrition and all these other variables that there's literally no way to control, to the point where saying it's science-based is a total logical fallacy, because it's not. How are you going to say, how is that crowd going to say the 8 to 12 rep gang is BS? It just doesn't make sense. Okay. Ran over.
Where real failure is somewhere around that 10-ish range. You can even go up to 15. I mean, last chest day, my first opening set of dumbbell incline was 16 reps. Well, 15 and a half, right? I don't suddenly think I did 15 and said, oh, too many reps. That set didn't actually do anything. No, man. It's a pretty wide range. So it's not even really a numbers game, you know? Like, this is not as much weight as I can do for 10. This is kind of just as much weight as I'm
Sam,
comfortable.
Get into it. Okay. Basically what he's saying is he's trying to shoot for a target weight that's going to be somewhere in the 8 to 12 rep range. If he gets too high in the reps, you're going to throw a little more weight on there. If he goes too low in the reps, we're either going to stick with it or take a little weight off. Okay. Tempo. Want to look at tempo. Very similar to a Jay Cutler tempo. Not going all the way down. Not fully extending. Trying to keep tension on the muscle. Look how hard that set's pushing. That's a grinder. Went for it. Okay, I love to see it. Okay, inspirational to me. Okay, we're going to take a look at another set of these from a different angle. Again, we're looking at tempo, range of motion, effort.
Oh my God.
Are you pushing your sets like that? If you do, you're going to feel that the next day, I promise.
All right. Oh my goodness. Those were good 2 openers. Let's move on. So 2 heavy incline pressing sets done. Heavy.
Take a look at this set one more time. Okay, we're going to get it down to the bottom here. Take a look at the bottom of that rep. Still, even the bar's not touching his chest, but because of the way his physiology is, his pec is pretty well stretched. So what you want to be looking for is a very, what he tries to go for is a very deep stretch of the pec. And I think that he's accomplishing that. All right, next thing we're going to take a look at, I believe he does some cable flies next. So we're going to take a look at how he performs these flies on a pec deck.
Having my shoulder blades open, like I'm trying to pull them back.
This is good.
It just kind of gives me a more chest bias position. Yeah, it's like every time I sit down, rather than having my shoulder blades open, like I'm trying to pull them back. It just kind of gives me a more chest bias position.
And just kind of throwing my 2 cents here. And again, take it with a grain of salt, right? I'm just your average dad bod, right? Check this out. Just your average dad bod, right? You got kids and a full-time job and responsibilities. So take it with a grain of salt. Okay? I just want to show my credentials there real quick. I did chest today, so it's feeling good. What I was saying was, when I'm performing not just the pec deck, but really, this same rule will apply to a lot of exercises. Coming up in my lifting journey, I always heard people say, you want to keep your shoulders back, right? When you perform this exercise, you want to keep your shoulders back, pinned to the rear, right? Kind of locked in. But the thing is, one thing I realized, it took me years to figure this out, boys. I realized you can keep your shoulders locked back and still be rounded over, right? Still kind of hunched over. So to really perform, especially with working on the chest, to really perform chest exercises properly, not only are you shoulders back, but you want to keep a tall chest, big chest. Watch me here. Okay, when you're getting ready to execute, it's right. Big chest, like think about pulling your chest up. And that motion of big chest up, that is going to automatically lock in everything else. So if your chest is up like this, you can't round, you've literally cannot, well, at least to the minimum extent, you're taking your shoulders out of it. So for me, it's just a very helpful cue to think about is chest up, and then you're executing the exercises properly. All right, back to Sam. Take a look at these flies. Really getting a good squeeze in there. Love to see it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what Sam would say about this one, but again, just throwing in my 2 cents in here really fast. When you're performing exercises on the pec deck, I think this is going to be applicable for a lot of newer guys, right? When you're on the pec deck, one thing that really helps me feel it a lot more is, so we got the chest locked up, but I noticed what I was doing is I was just kind of focusing on doing the most amount of weight possible and not really thinking all that much about execution. So what I did recently in the past couple months is drop the weight by a lot. And I'm really focusing on the stretch portion of the lift. Really focusing on opening up the pecs and then bringing them in. And I felt like when I started focusing more on the stretch bit, not just trying to move as much amount of weight, in here as possible, but really opening up and focusing on the stretch. When I started doing that, I started feeling a lot more, got a lot better pumps, really feeling good. And I also sometimes will do pec flies before my main lifts. And again, it's something you should try. Mix it up a little bit. If you usually do your presses and then your pec deck, switch it up. Do your pec deck first. Activate your pecs. Get everything nice and pumped up, and then do your presses. See how it feels.
One more.
Okay. Again, we're watching the tempo here. Kind of explosive contraction. A little bit slower on the stretch. He kind of does fast reps.
Okay. Oh my
And
gosh.
you can see what I was talking about with the level of effort here. Watching Sam train really got me thinking about, man, I used to be one of the guys that would train to, train to slight discomfort, you can say. There was probably a couple years. I'd say there was a good 3-year period where I just trained to slight discomfort, and I was probably just maintaining, just kind of chilling, working, not really having a plan. It is what it is. It's okay. And if that's you, that's fine, right? Like if you just like going to the gym and like working out, boom, that's awesome, man. But if you want to pump up the jam, take it to the next level, you're home. Okay. I got you. You don't need coaching. Do not pay for one-on-one coaching. Jeez. You don't need it.
All right.
I'll be your coach for free.
Let's jump to the chest machine behind me. Get some flat pressing in now. Not need for much here.
All right, Sam, let's get into the presses.
And once I get much partial ability, you know, it's almost like it's heaviest at the bottom.
I'm so jealous. You know, he's got this. Well, I don't know if jealous is the right word. I'm very happy for Sam that he worked so hard and has all this cool equipment in his gym. I work out at a YMCA that it does not have great equipment. You know, I wish I had some of the cool machines like he's got here. Sam, if you see this video, please invite me out. I'd love to work out. Looking at tempo, stretch, level of effort, range of motion. Slowing things down a bit here. I know a lot of times at the ends of his workouts, he will do some things and really trying to focus on the squeeze portion, peak squeeze.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Crushing it. Okay, so that was chest. And again, this is a long video. This is the entire Sam Sulek training methodology. So lock in, boys. Is now we're going to take a look at back. The first exercise I believe we have is some chest supported rows. We're going to watch the big dog himself here knock some of these out. So let's see what we got here. It does look like he's rocking straps. If you need to use straps, go to town. I don't personally think there's anything wrong with using straps. I've used straps a ton. What I will say is if you are a strapper, if you do want to strap up, you know, stay strapped, I would just say don't rely on them too soon. Like don't use them right off the rip. I think that there's been times when I went to straps too soon, utilized them too quickly, and I was not really letting my grip build up. And I think that once I stopped using straps so much and really just using them as a last resort instead of the first resort, I think that my grip really got better quickly. I'll shut up. Back to it. One thing I want you to look at here is watch the upper back movement. Okay, I want you to watch how the upper back is flexing, and then after I'm going to tell you something that I think really kind of held me back, something that I was doing wrong for years. You see the stretch, deep stretch, contraction. Okay, where he's not rounding, but really opening up the upper back and then into a full contraction. And this is something that I was doing wrong. So I just want to get right into it. Something that I think I did wrong for years. I was doing my back training. You know, again, I just had whoever, right? I didn't really have a professor growing up in the gym. So here I am. I'm trying to be your professor so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Is I want you to be better than me. That's it. Just want you to be better than me. Okay, so what I was doing wrong is, you know, you always used to hear, keep your shoulders pinned back, right? So I was keeping my shoulders pinned back, doing the back exercise. But what I realized is, just, you know, I had my back locked in, and then I'm doing my row, and really the only thing that's like flexing is my biceps and maybe like a little bit of my rear delts. I wasn't allowing my upper back to really stretch out and open up so that I could pull back and do that full contraction. And I think that held my traps back for years. Held back my trap. My trap held back my trap development. You get it. Shut up. Get out of here.
Oh, get it.
Killing it. Take a look at the plane of movement where his elbows are traveling, right? So these are kind of, I would say, midway up. Really trying to target the upper back.
All right, good start. Let's do something lat focused now. Go back and forth between kind of upper
so
back
now
row
we're going to jump over
and a
to
lat stretch and pull down.
I want you to see some lat pull downs. And this is lat pull downs. I think these are one of the most commonly incorrectly executed lifts in the gym, and myself included. What I see a lot is a lot of this. See here, do it from the side. Let me know if you've seen this in the gym. Right? You see a lot of those? Almost like an ab movement. Right? So this is one of those. It took me years to actually feel anything after doing lat pull downs. And a lot of it came down to I was incorrectly executing them. I was, just kind of like rounding my shoulders and my chest over, and it was just like an ab workout almost. So when you're doing these, again, this is another one. Tall chest. Tall chest. When you go up, you really, so something that I think about when a bar goes up, like almost kind of pointing my elbows out, flaring my elbows out to really make sure my lats get that full stretch, okay? So lats are getting fully stretched. When I'm coming down, locked in, right? The bar doesn't necessarily have to touch your chest. This is like a made up thing. Just because the bar doesn't touch your chest, it doesn't mean anything. Like, here, look at this. So imagine I'm holding a bar. Like, my lats are fully contracted right now. So I'm not going to get any more contracted. I can't go down any farther on my lats. But would the bar be touching my chest? No. So just do it to your body. Really focus on, I want you to focus on actually working the target muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, he's got the deep stretch, come down. And kind of the same thing that I was just mentioning here. So he's not necessarily bringing the bar all the way down to his chest, but he's fully contracting the lats and getting a good squeeze. You can get a good squeeze without necessarily touching the bar to your chest. So don't overthink it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. One more of those. And I'm doing these in a very particular way. I feel like I'm holding my arms wider, and I'm almost trying to pull my elbows like in front of me, if you can imagine. I don't know. I'm just getting a little more lat, because usually I've got a habit of leaning back and turning a pull down into a row. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's another one I see a lot. I see, I've done them like that in the past. I see a lot of people do that as well. Kind of cheating it back, leaning back and you're pulling the bar back. You're just cheating yourself, right? You're not working the lats, I think, the way you want to work them.
Like we're sitting here and just wrench it back. That's not what I'm aiming for, right? I want lats. So I'm trying to stay a little more upright and get more lat engagement. And half of it is just more lat feeling, So change it up, listen to people's advice form-wise. But if you feel something, maybe tend toward trying to just feel it even more as you keep practicing rep.
And that's another really important thing. I have a lot of people ask me in the gym, like, hey, am I doing this right? And usually the first thing I ask is, can you feel it? Can you feel it, and where can you feel it? There's a lot of lifts that it's kind of hard to tell visually looking at somebody if they're really working the target muscle. So, do it by feel. If you're doing it and you're not feeling anything, just change it. Try something else.
Reps.
One thing you can't disagree with
One more of these.
is that he's pushing these sets.
And then I'll move on to some sort of row.
He pushes his sets hard.
Not too
There's
picky.
no 2 IRI 0.7 RPE. None of that nonsense. Okay, he's just training hard. That's what a lot of guys need to do. They just need to get in there, and you just need to push it. This is another machine that I wish I really had. You can do these on a cable, but it's just not the same. Again, looking at tempo. You got to push it. Okay, so that was it for back. We're just going to take a look at a couple exercises. We're going to just look at one tricep exercise, and we're going to look at one bicep exercise. We're just going to take a look at one set. Want to look at, again, looking at how far does he take these reps, how long, time under tension. We want to look at range of motion. Is he extending all the way? How far is he coming up? Is there a pause? How long is the negative? We're just trying to learn how he does.
Ooh, guys. Ooh. A few more like that. That was very good.
Okay, I can tell it's a good set. And again, I'm going to throw in some notes here. I'm going to throw in some secret sauce, okay? And we're going to get back. We're going shirts off so I can give you the secret sauce here. I see a lot of talk on Instagram about how to get the most stability, right? For some reason, we're trying to see how stable we can get all these exercises, and they're attaching the Velcro cuffs onto everything, and they're covering themselves with bands and trying to like lock in their body and do all sorts of weird stuff. But I'm going to show you something right here. Okay. This really helped my tricep training big time. And just so you know, okay? Right? It's all right. Okay? It's all right. It's okay for a dad bod. So here's something. Here's what really launched my tricep training. Okay, think about when you're just standing upright. Okay, it's kind of hard to like just flex your triceps. But when you want to get that stability, something I see a lot of times is, again, people are like kind of rounding forward when they're doing rope extensions, especially like with either a bar or rope or whatever on the cables. You want to get this stability, but the stability is going to come from your lats. Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but you want to use your lats to lock in, and then you can get a lot more tension across the tricep. I'll demonstrate. Okay. So let's see if you can see the lat. Okay. So pushing here. First, lock in the lats, and then lock in the tricep. Veiny, throbbing pumpage. So that stability is going to come from your lats. Your lat is going to pull your shoulder down tight, and then you can get a lot more tension on the tricep. You're welcome. Okay, while I get my shirt back on, we are going to check out a bicep exercise. Good, preacher curls. All right. Take it away, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll notice when he's doing these preachers, not coming down to full, complete elbow extension. We're coming down to just before the arms are fully straightened out. So it's just something to keep note of.
Oh, goodness. One more.
That was a burner. That was a tough one. Okay. So for the last one, we're going to take a look at just a couple quick. So like we talked about in the leg day, Sam likes to do his leg extensions and his leg curls often before his main pressing movement. So sometimes he'll either do, like a normal set with both legs on the extensions, and sometimes he'll do like this kind of 5 with one leg, 5 with the other leg, switching variation. So this is just something I wanted to show you. It's 5, swap to the other one, 5 more. He's got his hand on the machine to just get those last few reps to go beyond failure, because he's an animal. Okay, let's see. I don't think he does leg curls in this video, so we're actually going to jump straight into the barbell squat. I'm going to jump ahead to when he's about to start repping it out. And I want you, again, take a look at, we're looking at depth. He doesn't necessarily go super, super deep on his squats, just like a little bit below, with the thigh goes below parallel. And again, he's doing these with the elevated heels, feet kind of closer together to bang these out. You got two more. Come on, Sam, you got two more.
Oh, fuck.
He had one more. What do you think? I think he had one more. I'm sitting there saying that like I could bench, or that I could squat 5 plates, which I can't yet. This bulk, we might get there. My last bulk, I got to 425 for 2. I'm like I said, I'm just your average dad bod here, okay? I'm just your average dad bod that likes to go to the gym.
Oh my God, it's heavy. Oh,
it is. Okay, so he's pretty deceased from that. Let's see, and then he goes on to do some leg press, again with an extraordinarily heavy amount of weight. All right. I think we've seen just about all we need to see. So I'm going to let you go for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can go ahead and save it, come back to it later, use it to structure your workouts. If you want to do some Sam style working out for a little bit, I hope to see you in the next one. I hope you have a great day.